Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm 3DX, and in this video I'm going to be creating a stylized crystal or cluster of crystals. So I'm going to start out by making a cube, and I'm going to chamfer some of the edges, some of the vertices, and to create the main shape. And I'm going to use a cube that is smooth as well, and use that to create kind of like the base rock where the crystal cluster sits on. And I'm going to place the crystals in a way that looks kind of interesting. I'm going to have one that's a little bit larger, and then the other crystals are just going to be a little bit smaller. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to UV these pieces. And I'm going to transfer the UVs from one crystal to the others. Now these will have unique UVs, but I'm going to duplicate them as well just to get a few more different crystals. And I'm just going to pack them a little bit better in the UV section, also making sure that the crystals are straight. I'm going to use a naming tool, which there's going to be a link in the video description. It is an affiliate link, by the way. But there's a tool that you can use to rename objects pretty much. So I'm going to duplicate some of the crystals around so that there's a little bit more. And these are going to be sharing the same UVs as some of the other ones as well. So you don't have to worry about not re-UVing those as well, since they're going to be pretty much using the same UVs as the other ones. So this is pretty much the low poly, and I'm going to export that. Well, before that I'm going to make a high poly and then export that for my high poly section. And in Zbrush, I'm going to be doing, for the most part, just kind of using the trim dynamic to give it a bit more edge damage. And I also want to add a little bit of variation to the flat surfaces so that there's some texture there. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing for all of the crystals here in Zbrush. Well, the ones that are using unique UVs at least. All the other ones are going to be sharing the same UVs, so I don't have to worry about those. And I'm going to use the same technique. I'm using Dynamesh for this, so at a somewhat mid-level resolution. So as you can see, this model, for example, is only 60k polys, and I think that gives enough for what we're doing here. You can obviously divide it more if you want more resolution, but in my case I just find that this works pretty well for the most part. And I'm going to use the exact same technique as the other crystal on the other ones as well, which is to use Dynamesh and add some surface variation to the flat areas. And also use the trim dynamic just to add a little bit more bevel to some of the edges as well. And I'm going to keep doing the same process with all the other crystals as well. So just kind of adding a little bit of damage to the edges. And making it a little bit noticeable so that they actually read from a distance as well. It's always important to think about what the use of the model is. So for example, if the model is going to be viewed from a distance, you want to exaggerate some of the features so that you can actually read them from afar. If you're supposed to see the model really up close, then you can not exaggerate as much. And then I'm adding a few more details to the rock as well. It's gonna make it look kind of like almost like a moon rock type thing here. And I'm going to export this as my high poly model. And in Substance Painter, what I'm going to use is I'm going to bake by mesh name. So I'm going to load up my high poly model and bake my maps. And usually I just bake the normal and wall space first, just to see that, just to double check that there are not any artifacts or anything wrong happening with the model. And then I bake all the other maps. Now here I'm going to be using a 3DX style. I'm going to be using the 3DX Stylized Smart material. Again, if you are interested in that material, there's a link in the video description where I show you how to make it. Now for the crystal, I did enable metallic so that it looks a little bit more shiny and kind of reflective as well. And I also experimented a little bit with the colors. I also used the gradient on the crystal, and since the UVs were straight, you can kind of do that in this case. So I used the gradient just so that the base of the crystal is a different color than the top. And I kind of repeated that with all the other crystals as well. And I just kind of experimented with the colors just to see what kind of looked good and what was working and what didn't work too well. So since I'm not really using a reference for this one, I just kind of have to try out a few different things just to see what I get here. And then I also used the world space just to give it a little bit of a color variance as well. I just wanted to see what it looked like if I kind of like overlaid it on top. And then I also added a curvature just to add more, just to make the curves more noticeable. And it makes it look a little bit sharper as well. And then one thing I also tried was to enable emissive and make the base of the crystals a little bit emissive so that they kind of glow a little bit. Now this is something that you might do if you were making this for a game. You might do something like this with like a shader in the game engine or something like that, just to make it look better. But that's pretty much it for this video. So here's what it looks like in Marmoset Toolbag. Now if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you sub, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video. Do you see this environment right here? I made this really quickly using Maya, Zbrush, Substance Painter and Substance Designer and Unreal Engine. You too can make something like this really easily and in a short period of time. To make an environment like this one, all you have to do is make a few simple props, put them together in Unreal, and then simply add some lights and you're pretty much done. So hey, this is only a 45-second ad, so there's not enough time for me to cover everything, so click on the link below now and I will show you exactly how I made this environment. The best thing about learning how to make an environment like this one is that you can simply use the same techniques to pretty much make any other type of environment. Oh, and by the way, you don't need to be an expert already in order to learn how to make something like this. You can follow along without any prior knowledge. I will be showing you the basics on how to use Maya, Zbrush, Substance Painter, Substance Designer and Unreal Engine, so you can follow along without any issue. Like I said, this is a very short video, so I don't have enough time to explain everything. So click on that link below and I will show you exactly how this is done. And by the way, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for, so click on that link now so you don't miss out.